Hey!
Come on. Yes, here.
About 20 young people were having fun by the beach that night. The air was filled with music, laughter, and drinks. In the middle of the party, one of them came up with a strange but simple rule: no one was allowed to touch their phones during the night. Everyone agreed, so they collected all their phones and locked them in the car trunk. Not long after, two teenagers showed up carrying a strange, slimy object. They said they found it not far from the beach. None of them realized that this weird thing would soon turn their fun night into a nightmare. The next morning, a girl named Kaylee woke up first, followed by a guy named Mitch. Kaylee noticed that most of their friends were still asleep in the car. Vance and his younger brother Ronnie were sitting in the back seat, while Marcia was still dozing off. Kaylee watched a seagull pecking for food near the shore until suddenly, the bird was sucked into the sand and disappeared. Shocked, she shouted to warn Marcia not to step on the sand, but it was too late. As soon as Marcia's feet touched the sand, something beneath pulled her down. Her legs grew heavy, and she couldn't move. Seeing this, Vance panicked and ran to help her, but the moment his feet touched the sand, he got trapped too. Something under the surface bit his face, tearing it open. His screams echoed through the beach before both he and Marcia were dragged completely under the living sand. The remaining friends tried to call the police only to remember that all their phones were locked in the car trunk. They glared furiously at Mitch, the one who came up with the no phones rule. Not far from them, Gilbert woke up inside a large trash bin he used as a makeshift bed the night before. When he tried to get out, his friends yelled for him to stay still. They already knew the sand below was deadly. In the distance, they saw that the slimy object from last night had split open. Ronnie guessed it wasn't just a rock, it was an egg. And the creature beneath the sand had probably come from it. Jonah came up with a risky plan. He found two surfboards behind the car and used them as bridges to move across safely. Step by step, he moved forward carefully until one board shifted, almost throwing him into the sand. Suddenly, a parasite burst out of the sand and bit Jonah's stomach before he could jump away. He screamed in pain as his skin turned pale and bluish, like he was poisoned. Despite his injury, Jonah opened Marcia's bag and found a few cans of drinks. He threw them to his thirsty friends, but the pain in his stomach worsened. The wound began to swell and ooze with disgusting fluid. A lifeguard soon arrived, asking why they were in a restricted area. Kaylee tried to explain that something deadly was hiding under the sand, but the man didn't believe her. Strangely, he could walk on the sand without getting hurt. Mitch realized why the lifeguard was wearing thick leather boots that probably protected him. But before they could warn him, the man's car keys fell onto the sand. When he bent down to pick them up, something grabbed his arm. The lifeguard screamed in agony and sprayed pepper spray toward the sand, but it was useless. The parasites tore through his arm and pulled him under within seconds, leaving only a pool of blood behind. The group panicked even more. Mitch tried to wrap towels around his feet to run, but the wooden board beneath him snapped.
Help me! You guys! Help! Say something!
In a moment of panic, Kale came up with an idea. He handed one end of the wooden ladder to his friend inside the car. Then, Kale jumped from the house to the lifeguard's car. Together, they helped Rooney free his fingers that were stuck. After some effort, all four of Rooney's fingers were finally released and immediately wrapped in a thick towel. They placed the wooden planks across to use them as a bridge, carefully keeping their balance as they crossed one by one. When it was Rooney's turn, he slipped and fell onto the sand. In an instant, a swarm of parasites pulled him under the sand before anyone even realized what was happening. The parasites then tried to get inside Gilbert's trash can. Slowly, blood began to come out of Gilbert's mouth. It turned out the parasites had burrowed through the bottom of the can and into his body. In a split second, Gilbert was sucked down into the sand. Kaylee and Sandra spotted an inflatable raft on top of the patrol car. They quickly inflated it and helped each other climb in. Jonah, however, didn't make it. He died inside the car, his body decaying from the parasite infection. After the man's death, a giant octopus monster suddenly emerged from the sand, forcing Kale to fight it alone. Luckily, he managed to kill the creature by setting it on fire.
Burn, you motherfucker!
By morning, a mysterious man appeared. He calmly walked across the sand unharmed and helped Kaylee and Sandra get to safety. The film ends with a peaceful view of the ocean, but deep beneath the water, thousands of parasites swim toward another beach, hinting that the terror is far from over.